Hello everyone, I'm back with another video, and in today's video we have a gaming laptop. This is the ASUS ROG Strix G16 gaming laptop. The exact model for this one is a G614JV-AS73. That information can be found on the bottom. Sticker right in here says model G614J, but right over the serial number, they give you a complete exact model. And in this video, I'm going to take you on a step-by-step how you can open it up and how you can repaste and clean up your laptop. This one was hit by a table, I guess, or by a truck. I have no idea, but there's a nice big dent right over here. And the client is overheating, and maybe you just want to open it up and clean it up. I'm going to show you step-by-step how to do this process. I'll leave every tool that I'll be using in the video description in case you want to purchase yours. Also, your preference for the thermal paste is different than mine. You can go with the one I recommend, or you can go with the one you want. You can go with the Thermal Grizzly Extreme. I highly recommend this one. Even sometimes they do give you a liquid metal. I'll swipe that liquid metal away, and I'll put a Thermal Grizzly Extreme on it. It's the same as a liquid metal pretty much, and it will last the same time, because even the liquid metal on these GPUs, they do get a dry spot after a few years, after 1 year at least, and you get a bad temperature. And having a liquid metal in here, if you bang your laptop just like the one in here, you have a higher chance of spreading that liquid metal somewhere else. So just go with the thermal paste. And after 1 year, year and a half, you have to open it up and clean it anyway. So just get that thermal paste, a good thermal paste. Also, you can, if you want to go a little different thermal paste, you can go with a PTM paste. Those are good too. They're really expensive, really hard to find, and there are lots of fake ones out there. So I'd rather go with a Thermal Grizzly. Gives you the same result. Very, very good. All right. Tool number one, a good thermal paste. Tool number two, a good screwdriver set. I highly recommend the iFixit screwdriver set, as they have all the bits that you require. These are S2 class steel bit. That means they will not damage the screw heads, and they will last you a long time. I purchased myself this basic tool set. You're going to be using a Phillips number one. If you get the Pro set, they will include you with an opening tool and some tweezers. If not, grab yourself a guitar pick. Metallic guitar picks are suitable to opening cases and covers. Unlike these opening tools that are really sharp, and you can actually scratch your laptop with this ones. So I'd rather go with this one. Curved or straight tweezers and a plastic spatula, good to come. One sheet of the workshop towel. This one is half used. One sheet of the workshop towel. And next one is very important, isopropylic alcohol, 98, 99% at least. Don't get any 70% alcohol, please. Use that 99. You don't want any water concentration in your alcohol. All right. The reason is for the workshop towel and not microfiber towel is because as soon as you put an alcohol on this one and you try to clean the CPU and the components, this will rip apart and will prevent damage on the components. Unlike the microfiber towels, they can get strangled around the components, tiny capacitors, and they can rip them apart. After this, you will need a toothbrush. Use your new toothbrush to clean the fan system and the ventilation. And that should be all. Anything else, I'll let you guys know. All right, just remember, by repasting and cleaning, you're not going to change anything in the system. And if you do repaste cleaning and you power on, it doesn't power on, don't worry. I'll explain how to turn it on. Because once you finish it up and you put everything back together, you press the power button, nothing is going to happen. I'll let you know why and how to bypass that and how power it on. All right. First thing first, you want to power it off, flip it upside down. Down here, we're going to remove all the screws except one. The one on the corner on this side, this screw has something called a C-lock. A C-lock will prevent the screw coming out entirely. Also, it has a secondary purpose that will push the cover away from the palm rest. You see, as soon as I rotate, it will create a tiny gap right in here. So I see a tiny gap, so I can stick my guitar pick right in there. That's the purpose of the C-lock. All right. Now, there's two types of screws, the short ones and the long ones. The short ones are the front row of the laptop. Go ahead and remove them and keep them in one pile. And then you want to remove the rest of the screws. Those are the long screws, including the hidden one, camouflaged right in the middle. Don't forget this one, two on the side, four on the back. Remove all the screws and keep them in a separate pile. Also, if you guys like my videos, if you find my videos helpful and helping you guys out, you can support the channel by clicking the like and subscribe. I'll greatly appreciate it. It helps and motivates me to make more videos, take requests, and answer your questions in the comment area. Appreciate that. This is a 2023 model. It says manufacturing date 2023-03. All right. They are 23 model, but they do sell them on 24 and they put on a sticker 24, but it's really 2023. Once we remove all the screws, you want to start from the front end. You want to put the guitar pick where the C lock was, and you want to lift it up. You want to hear those click sounds. Those click sounds, that's what you want to hear. Those are the clips are getting loose. Do that all around in the front. Go to the side, and you want to hear this. I'm thinking about 1 or 2 millimeter of the guitar pick. Go to the side and towards the front only. You don't need to go towards the back. Once you did those, all you need to do, put a face down, grab it from front, wiggle it around, and lift it up, wiggle it, and it will release the clips at the back. As this one had a really big dent on it, so we're not gonna do anything about that. You can take it outside, use a toothbrush to blow some air through this dust mesh and clean it up. All right. This one is kind of dirty. The fans are dirty, so I can see they're a little clogged up, and that's very, very important. Can damage the airflow for the ventilation. All right. So first thing first, we're gonna disconnect the battery right over here. To disconnect the battery, we can see the cable goes right under the third fan that cools down the entire motherboard. It pulls air from the side over the hard drives, SSDs, RAM, and it pushes over the here and pushes on the radiator right in the middle that way. All right. So we need to remove this one because the battery connector is right underneath. So there's two screws holds it. The third screw goes from the casing. So don't think that you're missing one. That goes from the bottom casing. So go ahead and carefully remove these two tiny screws at the same size and put them to one side. Grab the fan gently and bring it to over the heatsink. Don't put it anywhere else. Now, to disconnect the battery is very important. What you want to do here, you want to push this metal cover towards the SSD as far as you can, as far as it clears this white plastic right in here. Then what you want to do, you want to put your fingers or this spatula on the side, this side or this side, doesn't matter whichever side you want to start, and you want to lift it upward, just like this, and the connector will come. Make sure you bend it this way so it doesn't come over. All right, next we're gonna disconnect the fan connector. We don't want to yank on the cables or anything like that. You're gonna damage the cables. I'm gonna bring another type of tweezer, little thicker ones. Now we want to grab this connector from the sides and we want to push it backwards so you don't yank on the cable. So that's the proper way of disconnecting these connectors for the fan. Take it outside, use a toothbrush to clean it up. All right, next, let's go ahead and disconnect the fan for this one in here. Just grab it and on the neck and pull it back. This one, the connector is probably under the secondary hard drive that has been installed, 980 Pro. So we're going to remove this hard drive by removing one screw, sliding it in a 45-degree angle. And the connector is right there. There we go. All right. Now we are going to go ahead and disconnect 1, 2, 3 screws for the right fan. And the fan will not come out because it goes right and then here. Maybe you can move it around. That's if it does budge in. So you have to bring it in 45 and pull it out so you can release this section. Bring it out. Again, take it outside, use a toothbrush so you can remove all this clogged up hair and dust in there. Just be gentle with it. Oh, look, it is very bad. So we are going to clean it up. And we're going to remove the 3 screws on the other fan right over here. All right, grab the fan again in the same position, pull it back. So if you don't want to replace the thermal paste, you can just at least every few months take the fans out and clean it and clean the dust over here. That will help a lot. All right. Next, what do you want to do? You want to remove the heatsink. First, let's remove these screws on the corners that touches the heatsink. These are tiny screws, one there, one on the other side. All right. Now I don't see any more screws right there. We're coming through here and we're going to remove 3 screws for the CPU and 4 screws for the GPU. I believe this is GPU and CPU. Maybe this is a GPU. Let's see. I believe this is GPU. So loosen up this screw. It has a C-lock. So as soon as you hear that click sound, you want to stop. Not as soon as you can just stay there for days and rotate. So remove those. There's a warranty label right here. You want to puncture to the warranty label and you want to remove that. The screws for this one doesn't have a C-lock. Interesting. And we are going to remove it. Always cross remove them. Don't go on a clockwise or counterclockwise. Get a habit of cross screwing everything. That's what I'm saying. Use a proper screwdriver, otherwise you can damage the screw heads. All right, once we remove all the screws and loosen up the ones from here, we're going to grab it really close to the neck and we're going to gently lift it up, bring it down, up, down like this, gently. You want to do this position for a few seconds, higher and lower. There we go. And gently it will release. You don't want to yank it up. You can deform the heatsink. And there we go. You can see they did have use a liquid metal in here. And look at this. This is what I'm saying. Don't use a liquid metal on this one. You can see clearly. That's why it was overheating. I don't know if you guys be able to see this one in here. There is nothing. There's zero liquid metal in here. There's no liquid metal in this section. This is a whole crystal that touches this whole area. Nothing here, nothing here. Only a little bit in the center, and the center part is really bone dry. So people, oh, liquid metal is really good. It is good, but it goes bad. And look at the decoloration on here, on the thermal paste. That is a PTM one. Look at the PTM. It just got thermal pumped and even all over the place. This is about 2 years old. And look at that. Look at that dry part. Look at that burn mark right there. And that's the GPU. The GPU, it was overheating because of that. And the CPU was overheating because of this. We're going to clean this. We're not going to replace the thermal putty on the VRAMs, on the power regulators, anything like that. But if you want to, you can replace the thermal putty. But the thermal putties don't need replacement, only the thermal paste. Right. Right. So let's put this to one side and let's clean up the motherboard first. Let's grab a alcohol, clean up the dust in here. The alcohol is good to pick it up. There we go. Now, you want to be gentle with this liquid metal. You want to bring it up and you want to gently first remove all this excess of the liquid metal that has been shaken to the sides. You can use a little syringe to pull it up. Make sure whatever you do, don't spill it over the motherboard. You can damage it. So I'm gonna pull it up to a syringe. We're gonna gently pick it up as much as we can. As long as you remove the liquid metal over the crystal, you're fine. You don't have to go crazy all around it. Just clean up the crystal die, and that's it. I use a dry part to clean it up one pass. You can use a toothbrush to clean up the corners of any dust or anything like that. Now we're gonna clean up this old thermal paste in there to clean up that. Soak it in an alcohol and bring it and just in a circular motion go over the crystal die of the GPU. You see how this one rips apart and will prevent damage on the components. We can put a little bit of alcohol on top of this one and leave it there, let it for soaking. You can use a plastic spatula to break off the crystal, any hard particles. You don't care about like around it around the GPU, but gently you can clean it up. Be careful with the capacitors, but again, cleaning the PCB around the capacitor is risky. With a spatula, don't do it. Just do as much as you can with a workshop towel, and that's it. With a workshop towel and alcohol, there's no risk. There we go. Nice and clean. That particle right there, I cannot clean it. It's really embedded. It will not come out right there. That's embedded in the crystal because of the burn mark. All right, now we're gonna clean up the heatsink. Let's put this to one side. Bring up the heatsink. The heatsink, again, same thing. You see this foam thing around? This foam will prevent the liquid metal going around and spreading over the motherboard. This is like another prevention. So I'm gonna blow some air through here. You can still see that spot where the liquid metal was and it was kind of burned in. So we're gonna cleaning up the GPU. I'm gonna break the crust with a spatula, plastic one, so I can remove the excess of the. Then we can manually clean up the rest. We can see that little burn mark right there. It's really super flat. There's nothing I can do about that or polish it or anything. That's okay, that's fine. So all we need to do is to repaste and clean it. So I'm gonna take it outside, do a little bit of cleaning on the heatsink, make sure the dust and everything is out, and I'll be back. So we're gonna apply the thermal paste. So we're gonna grab your thermal paste that you want, your favorite, and we are gonna apply. You can use a spatula, line, and whatever you want. I'm gonna put a one dab, just spread it over here. There you go. And you want to spread it over the CPU. You can do a better job. Doesn't matter if it goes around. That's totally fine. Nothing's gonna happen to it. All right. Once we're done with this, you want to grab the heatsink. So what you want to do, you want to bring the heatsink evenly over the motherboard. If you want to add thermal putty, you can put a little drop of thermal putty over the components. That's fine. There's not a big deal about it. You can do it. Or you can grab a little thermal paste, put a one dab of thermal paste on each VRAMs. Those are the important ones. And you can put a little tiny line on the components, on the coils. And power regulator, just put one tiny damp. The thermal putty with a thermal paste, it's okay to mix them. It's not a big deal or it won't do any damage. So that's totally fine. But if you get a thermal putty, you can put a thermal putty on, add thermal putty on top. If you want, you can just clean it up with a thermal workshop towel and just put it on over. That's fine too. Bring the heatsink over, set it down straight, keep it in this position. You want to cross screw the screws over the CPU first. Put one screw there. Don't tighten it up too much. Just go one across it. You always want to cross screw them so that way the thermal paste evenly spreads over the crystal die. Next, you want to tighten up the screw all the way to this side of the GPU. And doesn't matter whichever you want to start next. It's a triangle, so there's no cross screwing here. Put the one tiny screw on each corner on the back. Grab the fans. This fan goes on this side. Drop it down. Lift it up again. The cable goes under the heatsink. It comes out from this side out. So grab a tweezer to help it out to pull it out. There we go. So now you stick it underneath. Drop it there. Push down the fan connector right in there. Grab the other fan. Before you put the fan down, first put the connector. It's easier to put it in before. Grab the fan, slide it in there. Make sure the cable is not right under the fan here. Bring it over on the side so it doesn't stay underneath. You don't want to pinch it. There we go. All right, we're gonna put 3 screws on each fan. All right, grab the SSD that you removed, put it in 45-degree angle. Bring it down, make sure it's aligned with the screw hole, and put the tiny screw at the back. Grab the fan for the rest of the component that cools it down. Where the fan connector was, right there. Put the fan connector in place. There we go. Put it in an offset position. Bring the connector for the battery. Align it. Make sure this metal bracket is back. Align it and push it towards the model. Push the corners them down and slide this metal over. It should come about 0.5 millimeter over. And that's when you want to grab this fan. Make sure the screw holes are aligned. Put only 2 screws because it only takes 2 screws from inside. There we go. Now, once you're done with this one here, double check, make sure everything is in order. There's no cable, nothing is pinched. Grab the bottom cover that you cleaned up. Bring it over, put it down right here. Push down the corner backside, the front. Don't push down this corner where the C-lock is. Just tighten it up. It's going to pull the cover to itself. You want to hear those tiny click sounds? That's what you want to hear. Put the short screws in the front end and the long screws towards the mid, towards the back. Again, I hope you guys like this video and helped you guys out. If you want to support the channel, you can click that like and subscribe. I'll greatly appreciate it. Now, I'm going to power it on, and you guys are going to see that it won't power on. And I will show you guys how to power it on. So let me just quickly put the screws. If you don't put the bottom cover, it will not power on at all. Because there is a sensor for the light sensor. So it needs the power to cover that sensor so it knows that the back power is on. That light sensor is right somewhere over here on the back. All right, now let's go ahead and turn it over. And there we go. I will power it on and it should not do anything at all. So it's not reacting. There's a charge on it, but the power light, there's nothing turning on in there. The reason is because this laptop, the circuit will not start unless if you remove the battery, unless you plug in the charger. Once you plug in the charger and you power it on, it will power on at first. Just wait for the battery light and then power it on. Now It powers on the backlight, everything. Now, it's going to take us up to 2 minutes. It could be up to 1 or 2 minutes before it shows anything on the screen because the motherboard is reset. That means it's going to do mem check, all the component checks, everything like that. So just don't panic, leave it on. It's going to probably power down, power on. Just leave it be, and it's going to show up the logo, and it's going to boot up to the Windows normally. I'm going to leave it like this so you guys can see how long it takes for the boot. So don't panic about that. Again, if you have any question or request, feel free to leave them in a video comment. I'll try to answer them that as soon as I can. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. I'll cut the video once I see that it's loading the Windows. And there we go. We got the logo, and we got the Windows loading up. And it should be in a Windows within a few seconds. And that's it for today's video.